Can we keep it real for a minute?
Let's just keep it real. Let's go
all the way real.
It's gonna be
the last goddamn near 2 hours having a great ass conversation.
Bomb ass conversation, y'all.
Amazing content, amazing moment, amazing connection, and the shit wasn't recorded.
The shit disappeared, okay? The devil is a lie because we are back and better. We are back in this thing. We recording again, that's right.
Yes.
And it's going to be even better than the first one, okay?
Yes.
It will be a
little
different.
Your shit, Abby.
Thank you. Thank you for backing me up. Back me up. Back me up right now.
Yes.
Get ready for some banter, laughs, and honesty. Raw and unfiltered.
It's time for the Listen Up podcast hosted by Lady Sola.
Listen up, listen up, listen up. What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Lady Sola. Been a minute. I've taken a little break with the new year, but I'm back. This is episode 14, and without further ado, I got my chick in the building. This is Miss Bibi Mahado, you know what I'm saying? From Guyana.
South America, Guyana,
yes.
Not Ghana. Shout out to everyone from Ghana, but Guyana and Ghana are two different countries. And for those of you that be like, oh, you from Ghana? Why are you not black? Because I'm not from Ghana, ho. I'm from Guyana.
So people really be mixing up Ghana and Guyana?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, y'all need to pull out a map or Google like South America, Google Africa.
It's really not ill will or like bad intentions. People just don't be knowing.
Right.
It's cool. I mean, it is a tiny country with less than 1 million people, so I don't blame people for not knowing. It's next to Brazil for those of you that wants to do your Google.
Yes, and I've been to Brazil on a study abroad trip.
Really?
It was amazing.
Okay. I want to go, but the way their crime rate is set up.
Oh, you just gonna stay?
I'm gonna stay on the safe side. Well, I don't know if America.
Yeah. America isn't looking too much better either, actually.
Another topic for another day.
That's right. Well, today we are going to get into, some serious stuff. And we're going to talk about surviving R. Kelly. So let's do what needs to be done.
Yes.
The latest stories that grabbed our attention and dominated headlines. Listen up. It's time for The Big Three.
My body's telling me no. Or my
I got you, boo. I know it's late. My mind's telling me no.
But my body telling me yes. He's talking about a young girl. Wake up, people. He's talking about a young girl.
His mind know that fucking with a 13-year-old is fucked up, and his mind is telling him no. But his body, his 30-something-year-old body, is telling him that he wants the 13-year-old girls. That's what it's saying for the slow folks in the back.
Surviving R. Kelly was broken down into 6 episodes. Lifetime aired the series over a span of 3 days, with each day them airing 2 episodes back to back. In the early part of January. So the first 2 episodes really goes into R. Kelly's childhood and his upbringing and basically the kind of boy he was growing up as a child. And he was very timid. He was shy. He loved to sing. He was very creative and artistic. He loved to play the piano. Just a very soft-spoken, to himself type of guy. He wasn't, really like out there at all. Not the R. Kelly that we know him know him as today.
Exactly.
He was really, really sheltered, very introverted. Their father left at an early age. Mom worked, a lot of hours, worked very hard. And he had trouble reading and writing, growing up. And that really became a sore spot for him because he was very insecure about it, very frustrated. The sense of embarrassment really took place in his childhood because I think other kids in school would kind of tease him about it. And, it just became one of those things that you don't even want to think about. Like, you kind of just want to shut that part down. So in wake of trying to find something that can make him happy, something that he's good at, he really delved deeper into music, producing music, putting beats together, singing, training himself on vocal lessons, teaching himself literally how to sing notes without writing or reading music. So basically learning music by ear. His younger brother and older brother talk about it in the documentary. So, that's basically, where R. Kelly, this persona was birthed.
And
very
the
early
introduction in the documentary. And to just kind of bring things back a little bit, shout out to the producer and the creator of this documentary. What's her name again?
What's her name? I definitely am blanking out on her name right now.
It's cool. Just edit this. Shout out to the producer and the creator.
Dream Hampton.
Yes, there you go.
Boom.
There you go. Shout out to her for putting this together because I think a lot of people knew what was like shit here and there about R. Kelly, but she just brought it all together, dating back, like as you said, from his early years to literally present day. And she just wrapped it all together and just packaged it and delivered it. And it was a powerful ass message. And shout out to everyone that participated and the brave survivors that shared their stories. So shout out to everyone involved as well.
Yes, absolutely. Major shout out to Dream Hampton. You did the damn thing. You are a visionary. You are a woman on a mission. You are a woman that is sparking change by this piece of work that you have put out. So I really want to give you the acclaim and the compliments, the honor that you deserve because of you and because of this documentary, the Me Too movement has something, legs to stand on. They have evidence. They have, stories circulating and things percolating and people talking about this in so many ways. R. Kelly got dropped finally from his record label, Sony RCA Records, which is a huge moment. That's a huge accomplishment.
Because really, and I think they briefly brushed on this, he wasn't producing shit, and he was still signed to this record label. Like, he wasn't dropping an album. When was his last album? I don't know.
Oh, crap.
He's been canceled to me, so.
Right.
And but his last album was no time recent, and he doesn't have
Black Panties?
I don't know. But he doesn't have any plans on dropping shit anytime soon. So why the fuck was he still signed to them in the first place?
Exactly.
So shout out to this documentary for shedding light on the fucked up shit that he did and he's still doing, and that's helping us to keep our foot on his neck and hold him accountable for all the shit. And now going back to what you were saying before about his younger days, she did a really good job, especially with the timeline. Like,
yes,
she stuck to the timeline from when he was a young kid. And also mentioning the abuse that he experienced at a very young age, like at 7?
Yes.
Which kind of, at 7, that's like such a tender age. That's like when you're really starting to develop your personality, like your sense, like who you are. And to be abused by a family member, that kind of sets the tone for your future. And they didn't mention it in the documentary, but do you think that his abuse was the fact that he couldn't read was a result of his abuse and his timidness?
I don't think that his abuse really impacted or influenced his inability to read or write. That is a good question. I've never heard or read anything about the two relating to each other. I just think coincidentally he just had trouble. Yeah, he just.
We just keeping it real, y'all.
He just couldn't read, or he had a lot of difficulty, reading and writing. It's just interesting that even though he couldn't read, he somehow taught himself how to play music, and
manipulate people.
Yeah, that too. In this documentary, I really did like you said, how she had the timeline and everything was laid out one by one, piece by piece, brick by brick, because it really helps you to see the whole picture. It's not just one victim. It's not just 1 year. It's not just one sex tape trial.
Yeah.
It's a culmination of things.
This dude really called himself the Pied Piper.
That's crazy.
And for those of you that don't know who that is,
let us know.
Do your Googles, but I'm gonna give you a brief summary. So it's this story about this guy who rendered services to a community of people. I believe he helped to get rid of their rats or something. And what he did is played a flute, a musical instrument. And they didn't want to pay him. So, as a way to get back to them, he played his flute to their kids and led the kids away to never be seen again. Moral of the story is he used his music to lead kids away, never to be seen again. And R. Kelly called himself the Pied Piper.
He proclaimed himself as the Pied Piper.
Used his music as a tool to lead young girls away, never to be seen again. Maybe not physically, but mentally.
Damn. That's deep. That is deep. And
he literally hid in plain sight.
He really did. And he hid in plain sight for many years.
To this day.
He's still, in a sense, hiding in plain sight. When you have people like the Brat blindly and boldly defending him,
amongst
as
many
if
others.
It's normal.
Erykah Badu was in something recently.
She was just in Chicago at the Aragon Ballroom.
Yeah.
Which is on the north side of Chicago, where I'm from. Basically telling people they need to keep their opinions to themselves. That yes, he needs healing, but that she supports her friend and that she hopes he gets. That she does hope that the victims get the healing that they need, as well as him.
Sweet
but,
Jesus.
That we need to basically keep our opinions to ourselves as well, because we weren't there or we weren't involved.
Sweet Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus. Like, bless her soul.
God bless her soul.
Can we talk about this for a second? Because everyone, in reading the comments from a lot of people, and even talking to people, I hear a lot of things like, oh, well, what happened to this person, that person, that person? You might be right, but it doesn't take away from the fact that R. Kelly is a predator and a pedophile and disgusting and a nasty person. People talk about, oh, well, what about the parents? Okay, what about them? Yes, parents do have the obligation to take care and watch over their kids and so forth and make sure that, they know about their well-being. However, no parent is with their kid 24/7, 365. For the slow folks in the back, that's 24/7 a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Especially when their kids are teenagers. Therefore, they can't no, and yes, there is some accountability for them allowing their kids to go to R. Kelly, knowing his past, whatever. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that he is a nasty motherfucker. Like, yes,
Sick,
yeah,
disgusting.
exactly. Yes, the parents may have been irresponsible. Yes, they're fucked up in some cases for basically selling their kids and selling their soul for fame, money, and success. However, nothing takes away from the fact that R. Kelly is a nasty motherfucker. He is a pedophile and he is a predator. And he needs to be held accountable. Nasty. Whether Harvey Weinstein is doing fucked up shit, whether
Kevin
Spacey is doing fucked up shit. Yes, it's fucked up, but it does not take away from what R. Kelly has done and is still doing, y'all.
I mean, we really need to stop justifying, turning a blind eye, and making silly excuses for things that are simple, cold, hard facts. He is disgusting. He has done horrific, disturbing, traumatic things to several women intentionally. It's not that he was taken over by the devil or he was put in a trance and he didn't know what was going. He very well was in full control of what he was doing. And why do I say that? Because as many women have stated, there are two sides to R. Kelly. There is Robert and there is R. Kelly. And somebody that is not all the way okay or not mentally strong, that has issues, you know, like with mental issues or multiple personalities or schizophrenia or whatever, you would not be able to basically like
be smart enough be smart enough to put on a mask when you're in the public
and the right time and place when he's out and about doing promo prep. Exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean? When he's doing his music concerts, interviews, collaborations, this on tour, whatever, he is and this is why people do get enamored with him, because he's so charming. Many people do find him attractive.
His music is really good.
His music is really good. You know, he's funny. He's easy to be around. Like, I mean, it's people really get shell shocked, really get like stunned by him. You know what I mean? Like when you see all those good things and you don't see the monster, the dark side, it's like it's hard to believe. But he knows what he's doing, and we need to stop babying him.
Exactly.
We need to stop protecting him. We need to stop serving as, you know, like this major defense covering. Because he doesn't deserve it, and he needs to pay for what he did.
Yes. Do not let other men doing fucked up shit, or irresponsible parents, and many other things distract you from the fact that R. Kelly is a motherfucking predator out here in these streets. And he fully knows what he's doing. His team fully knows what he's doing. Hence, money and NDAs, non-disclosure agreements.
Yes.
Because they know that you're doing something wrong, which is why you're paying out these people, settling these claims out of court, out of the public eye, and having these non-disclosure agreements. And that's why most of the people are not speaking up, because you settle with these non-disclosure agreements. They take this money and they can't talk. And if they do talk, they have to pay it back.
Exactly. Or they stop receiving payments.
Exactly.
And people need to understand that, like, R. Kelly has a whole supporting cast ecosystem. He has everything at his fingertips. He has yes men and yes women around him 24/7 that is enabling and supporting this behavior.
Yeah.
Nobody had the balls to pull this man aside and say X, Y, and Z. Nobody really did that. You know what I mean? Because otherwise something would have been done sooner. So he does settle out of court. He does have the non-disclosure agreements. And another disturbing thing that I learned about from Geronda Pace in an interview she's done is that he does have the girls basically write and sign pre-drafted contracts stating certain things that I have done this has happened, that has happened, when none of this stuff has happened. And he makes sure they signs it without a date. He tells them, make sure don't date it, so that when shit hits the fan, when the women wake up, their eyes are open, they decide, I want to leave this man, I want to tell my story and come forward. He's going to basically use the contract as proof that this happened, I contracted an STD, that I wanted to have sex with women and him, that I was okay with it, that I got paid, I worked for him as an assistant. Like, he had, you see, so this is somebody that is very in tune and very in control of what he's trying to do. He is trying to be a sick pedophile because that's his kryptonite. That's what he loves to do. He can't get enough of filming young girls, doing things with not just girls but men as well. That is his thing. That is his kryptonite. Yeah. So he's gonna do he's gonna put everything in place to ensure that you keep the ball rolling. The well-oiled machine keeps running
for real
without any interruptions.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's been doing it for several years.
And he's still doing it to this day, like literally to this day. Jocelyn Savage still hasn't spoken to her parents in over 3 years.
I believe it's I think it's over 3 years now. Jocelyn and Azriel.
Yeah. And I want to bring it back a little more to kind of touch on what I was saying before about people victim shaming and victim blaming and talking about the parents. Like, I would just want to say, if you guys want to listen to his music, you don't need to make these bullshit excuses as to why you want to listen to his music. Just don't say shit, or say that I don't care that this artist is fucked up, he's nasty, I don't care that he's a pedophile, I don't care that he's abusive, I don't care that he's a predator, I don't care that he preys on young colored girls, teenage underage girls. I don't care about none of that. All I care about is the music. Just say that and you would make yourself look a little better, because you making up these bullshit excuses to listen to his music is fucked up.
And I don't know, like, who you think you're playing for a fool. Like, anybody can see through that bullshit. Like, you're not going to continuously come up with weak excuses just because you want to still listen to his music.
Exactly.
We see right through you.
Yeah, just say you don't care.
We see right through you.
Just say you don't care. And just really think about the message that you're sending. Especially, like, most of R. Kelly's, like, fan base are people of color, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of women. Yeah. A lot of black women. That's probably the highest group. Yeah. Racial group or whatnot. But I know he has fans all over the world.
Exactly.
Definitely.
But I really want the message to be sent, like, the type of girls that he is preying on are young girls of color, young black girls. And really just think about that message. Like, think about that message. You care about music, then you care about these young girls. Like, just think about the message that you are sending these young girls that may not be in this R. Kelly situation, but may be abused in their own home. And they're scared to come out. They're scared to talk about it, or whatever the case may be. They're scared because from what's being painted in the media is that their voices don't matter. They don't matter. That's the message that's being painted when you support this bastard R. Kelly.
Right, and that's a great point that you made. I wanted to add as well, from I guess more so an economic standpoint with this R. Kelly ecosystem. People have to understand, the way I look at it is when you decide to cease listening to his music and to refuse to purchase, to refuse to stream, that in turn eventually does bring him down. Not just as an artist, but as a man, because now you have someone that gets dropped from his record label. He's no longer really able to book shows, you know, across the country to tour. He's no longer to create an album to sell because he's not on the record label. You know, he's not making money. So eventually, you know, he's not going to be able to have the finances to keep those victims hostage, because you have to remember, guys, that the way that he's been kind of balancing this control is with money. When shit hits the fan, he pays the parents off. When the girls want to leave, he's giving them money to stay, or he's giving them money to provide for their families, their brothers, their sisters, their mom, their dad. Like, it's deep, and money is a big source of power for R. Kelly. The sexual intimidation is one, and then money is the other. So
and
if
his
we
celebrity.
And his star power. So I feel like those are the top three things that works in his favor, basically. So if we can remove one of those things, which is money, and take money, literally take money out of his pockets, it reduces his power.
And it affects
which hopefully
everything.
will make these girls come home.
That's so true. That's
you have
so
to think
true.
of it on a more deeper financial, you know what I mean?
For
like,
real. That's so true. What you're saying, Abby, is like 1,000%. Like, if you want to mess with someone, mess with their money and mess with their pockets. Like, that's going to affect everything else. Because guess what? If he's not making money, then he can't pay the people that are enabling his behavior. He can't pay the assistants. He can't pay the lawyers.
Definitely
He can't pay the publicists. He can't pay the securities. He can't pay all of the fuckers that are part of his camp. And the only reason why they are there, unless they're brainwashed themselves, is because of money. Take away the money, what does he have? Take away the money and the fame, what does he have?
Not much.
And to be honest, like, without money, can you really, like, can he really have his legacy and his fame? Right? He can't, because he can't continue to book shows. He can't put out music.
Right.
What is he going to have?
And all that's left is the things from the past, his old stuff. Which, yeah, people can still choose to listen to it, but now you have this whole mute R. Kelly movement, which is on the upswing. It's on the uprise. So more and more people are listening to R. Kelly less and less.
Yes.
So now you take away the money and the fame, which is more of the current power, and the thing that is like the residual power, which is his past content, his past music, and basically his catalog. That also gets diminished as well, because he's being taken off of streaming services by, you know, other artists that have collaborated on songs with him. RCA has dropped him. Yeah, Lady Gaga. Chance the Rapper, I know, has publicly basically said that was a mistake. So of working with him.
I deleted even a goddamn feature. I went through my library in my phone and deleted that shit. Even if he was on a motherfucking feature, I deleted that shit.
I need to go and delete. Now that you said, honestly, I do have R. Kelly on my Apple Music. Like, I need to, like, go and clean that up, because
delete that shit.
I don't even listen to him, but now I need to, like, actually go in there and, like, delete it off of like my personal library, because hell no.
Granted,
I'm not having none of that.
Granted, I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, nobody's perfect, and I know I'm hypocritical because I do listen to artists that are not perfect. But in this situation, like, I cannot separate the music from the person. Like, I can't separate the art from the person, because the person is so disgusting, and he is a predator to these girls. Like, I can't look past that to listen to his music, especially when his art is a depiction of the person that he is.
That's what really adds insult to injury. He is so cocky. He is so like I'm gonna throw this in your face. Like, so many of his lyrics are basically stories, and And experts and stuff that were on the documentary talked about like many of his lyrics from a lot of his songs are basically stories of him detailing, things that were real life experiences for him. Somebody needs to find that bag. I know that bag of tapes is somewhere in Chicago.
You think they burnt it by now? Like, I feel like you have to be real dumb to not have discarded that by now. Like, you have to be on another level. Like, do you think that they really, all those tapes are really...
I don't know. I feel like he's so sick and perverted that, one of the clinical psychologists talked about it, that having those tapes is basically his trophy.
Yeah. It's like a serial killer that kills people and take, certain things to remind them of their kills.
Right. Exactly. Right. And it's almost like, I don't know.
A prize.
It's a prize. It brings them joy. It's also like a motivation that if they want to continue doing it, hey, here's a tangible reminder of you did this before, you can do it again, right? Yeah. It's that sick, perverted,
I've heard mention also
destructive cycle.
Yeah, and I've heard mention also that he kept that as a way to blackmail the girls, but you're not blackmailing nobody but your goddamn self by having sex with 13-year-old girls and 14-year-old girls. Like, who are you blackmailing?
I know, but the sad part is they bought into it.
Yeah.
That all of them bought into the fear. The fear is what kept them there for a lot of women. The fear and the lack of understanding that there is a life out there for you, that you deserve more. When predators break you down, they break you down to build you up, to break you down, and to again. Build you up, to break. It's literally like this domino effect that just keeps going on over and over and over. People that are abused and people that are on the outside looking in, it's two different worlds.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm only explaining it basically in the best way that I think it is, but I really feel like people that look at abusers and say, why didn't she leave? And she was grown, and I don't understand why she stayed for so long, and what does she see in him, and this, that, and the third, or whatever. But they have to understand that when you are in it, when you are deep, waist deep in that shit, you don't see it as, oh my God, I'm being abused. This is a horrible thing that's happening to me. He is so wrong and so disrespectful and so demeaning and degrading. I deserve more. I am this. I am powerful. I am beautiful. You don't think those things when you are the captive and you have a captor, which is the Stockholm syndrome. You don't view a relationship or your life in that way. You just believe that this is your life.
Yeah. And this is the best that I'm ever going to get.
Right.
And that's why
nobody else is going to love me the way he loves me.
And that's why he preyed
I'm not going to survive without him.
Minded younger girls that are vulnerable.
Vulnerable, that come from, broken homes or from single parent homes. The women that are suffering from depression, and it's crazy. He really studies that shit. People close to him said he purposely studies girls to see, okay, if this one, when he asked them questions, and
there was questionnaires that they had to answer, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I never heard about actual questionnaires.
I thought that was in the documentary. When they would first meet, he would ask them specific questions to see, I know,
just in conversation, I think.
Well, from my understanding, one of the girls, Lisa Van Allen, I think it was, she was talking about when she first met him, he was asking her specific questions. I think she was 17 or something like that, if I recall correctly. And he was asking her, would your mom be okay with you coming with me, to work or whatever? And that allowed her to tell him that, oh, my mom is not really in the picture. She's so he had specific questionnaires to choose his victims.
Right, and to choose who will get moved into the house and who will kind of be coming and going, like have more freedom basically, because they're not, and they're going to be harder to manipulate. Yes. You see what I'm saying? So it's like he's an expert. He's a mass manipulator. Like
he's been doing this for goddamn over 20 years.
He's skilled at this.
Yeah, this is what he does.
It's not an accident. Like, it's not like, ooh, how did I do that? Well, I pulled that off. No, he's an expert. Like, he does.
He's the devil. Let's go on record. For those of you that are now joining us, we're talking about the devil R. Kelly. Do you know? I don't know, like, if you're really into like the Bible and stuff like that, but like, y'all do know that the devil was a musical angel before he was cast out of heaven, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what the devil was. That's why music can impact us so much. And R. Kelly is like the devil.
Damn. Oh my gosh. Damn. That's like scary. You know, that's scary to think about, that one man
and it's
can
not
cause this much havoc.
Well, that's the thing. It's
damage.
Not just one man. Like, it's
You're
the
right.
people around him and his camp. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, he can't read. Like, he couldn't have pulled this off without the help of other people. So those people are to be held accountable equally. Maybe not like equally, but damn near 87.5% equally for the fucked up shit that these girls, like, ruining the life of these girls and their families is horrendous.
It's disappointing and disheartening. Mm-hmm. Now, like what you said with how he had a whole team of people, he has people around him that enabled all of this to happen. Absolutely. Many key people, including Demetrius Smith, who was R. Kelly's former tour manager. Mm-hmm. He is the one that forged documents so that R. Kelly can marry Aaliyah.
Yes.
When she was what?
15 years old.
And forged
5 for those of you that may interpret it as 50 for the slow ones in the back again. She was 15 years old, and he was what, damn near 30?
I think he was 27,
damn near 30,
basically.
Too old to be messing with a damn 14-year-old.
That's so crazy. Like, and you know, this manager is over here hee-heeing and ha-haing on the documentary like it's some joke or something. Like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. He didn't have a tux and she didn't have a white dress on.
And
it was a simple thing. Yeah, and I forged it. And I wasn't proud of that.
Yeah.
To this day, you're damn right. You shouldn't be proud of
that. But I will commend him for being real. We've had conversations before. I will commend him for being honest about the fucked up shit he did. His delivery, questionable, and I think like a lot of people, some people be nervous and stuff like that. But I do commend him because he could have easily said like, "Oh, I didn't know." Like, he could have easily been like, "Oh, well, this is what I suspect could have happened. This is what I see, but I didn't think about it." Just kind of like R. Kelly's ex-wife, like he could have been like, "Oh, I didn't know all of this was going on," but he did come out and he did talk about the fucked up shit he did in aiding R. Kelly. So to an extent, I respect his honesty for being real.
Right. I respect that
how
as well.
It made him look. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't make what he did right. He was still fucked up, and he should be held accountable.
I respect him for being brave enough to come on this documentary, show his face, and reveal himself and all that. But that's the only thing I can respect him on. Only because I've read too many things on this man. He has literally been the sex trafficker for R. Kelly. He's the one that was on MySpace recruiting girls and slipping girls' numbers on the piece of paper so that the girls can call R. Kelly at a later time. Like, there's always been like a liaison, so the middleman, and a lot of times he played that role in joining the girls with R. Kelly. It wasn't R. Kelly walking up to girls by himself like, "Hi, my name is R. Kelly, I'm not sure if you've heard of me, but it's nice to no. Like he had different people and that were always the ones wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. And this tour manager was a big part of it, especially in the 90s, for sure.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but no, we still commend him for, like you said, coming forward and speaking truthfully.
The truth. Yes.
Because that's what
that's all I commend him for. That is all.
just to clarify. Just to
clear that up. And it's just like, it's fucked up, man. Like,
it's so fucked up. Like, and I want to talk about Javante Cunningham and Sparkle. First off, Javante Cunningham was a backup dancer, backup singer. Like R. Kelly's like very first backup singer in the early 90s, and she is actually the one that revealed, spilled
the tea about
damn, like she just, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just kicked the whole tea kettle over, child.
For real.
She said, to hell with this
whole
mug.
Pot,
hell with this mug, bitch, and this little tea bag. Now, y'all gonna get this piping hot water kettle.
Tea, for real, for real.
Exactly. And
that tea that will burn your mouth and leave it burning for days.
Like, no ice is gonna help you.
No.
Like, I'm sorry.
No milk.
No, even going to the emergency room, I don't know if there's anything they could do for you. They just gonna ask you why
your whole joint is just burnt.
Why is your whole tongue like burning? Like, what did you do? Like, damn, I just heard about
Aaliyah.
Yeah, Aaliyah and R. Kelly having sex on the tour bus. Like, she basically said that's what happened. The door flew open on the tour bus, and there they were. And this was before they got married, I believe. Now,
this is when she was like his mentee, like.
Yeah, like his protege.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like they were working on her first album at this point. It hadn't come out yet or anything.
I hadn't realized how young she was when she got into the industry.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like, I never really thought about that either. Because the whole R. Kelly era, honestly, like, I wasn't up on it. I was just too young to know what was going on.
Exactly. And on top of that, culture was different back then. Like, men dating older men dating younger girls was somehow acceptable back then.
It was. In different schools all over the country. I mean, especially, you know,
we heard about the
black girls, Hispanic girls, like that was definitely a big thing in Chicago for sure.
Everywhere. You hear about the freshman dating the college student and
the
stuff
college
like that.
sophomore.
And everybody thought that was so cute.
And oh my God, he's taking me to prom. Like, we about to look so good.
Yeah, like
and he's coming in his car. He got a
like that shit was not okay.
He got a Ford Focus. Yes, like y'all. He got the sunroof and everything, bitch. We about to be on in the summertime, like. I'm about to be waving y'all from the front of the school. Like, no, y'all can't get a ride unless I fuck with you the long way. Like, we fell out. You not getting no ride, bitch.
Exactly. Like, I'm so happy that culture has changed in that way. Like, this shit is not acceptable in any way whatsoever. And I feel like this R. Kelly documentary is more so because it's damn near 30, like over 20 years.
Yeah.
He's not going to jail. Do you think he's going to jail?
I think it's a possibility. I think there's hope
that it can happen. A very slim possibility.
Yeah, I think with like this documentary and just all the verbal accounts, you know, like women, you know, really retelling what happened.
What about like statute of limitation and stuff like that?
Yeah, that is unfortunately something that does play a big role, and also the fact that there's no like visual proof, because the reason why there was such a big chance for him to go to jail before was because of that one tape, which Lisa Van Allen is the reason why the tape got leaked. It's because she decided to take that one tape, which she was on, but there were also several other scenes with him and then Rashonda by themselves. But then the tape got leaked after she passed it on to somebody which was stupid, but whatever, to another artist that knows R. Kelly or whatever, and then somehow they got the tape back to R. Kelly, but the tape has already leaked all over the place at this point. But the reason why, that trial was so crucial was because there was actual physical evidence that they could bring those charges against them on. Now it's kind of like, unless somebody else has a tape they've been hiding all this while, and they want to say, I do have that one tape, I didn't tell nobody. Real. Unless somebody else has a tape, it's going to be really difficult.
And on top of that, like, my thing is, like, why wasn't there, like, a warrant to search his property for those other tapes? Those other tapes are evidence.
That's a good question. Why?
Because the Chicago PD was in on this shit.
Yeah. You could say that. Say that loud for the people in the back. Cause
for real.
We all know, like people looked up to R. Kelly in Chicago. Like, exactly. There's no secret about that.
Exactly. But to kind of go back to what I was asking about before, like, I don't know if he, like, hopefully he can be held accountable, whether it's maybe not going to jail or whatever. But I feel like this opens up a bigger conversation for rape culture and what's acceptable, like, when it comes to dating younger girls. Like it's not acceptable for a 30-year-old to be messing with a 17-year-old. Like, that shit is just not okay.
No, it's not okay in any way, shape, or form.
And it's
in any state.
Exactly. And I think this opens those conversations for those older family members that may be doing some shit. Those,
Yeah. Oh,
those
yeah. Like
stepfathers and, like,
Yeah,
we all have heard those stories. Like, this opens those conversations for the other family members to really open their eyes and speak up and listen to the girls. Exactly. If they do talk, like, let their voices be heard,
Absolutely. And not to hold on to this old school traditional
of brushing
notion.
Shit under the rug.
Yes, brushing shit under the rug, and also keeping things within the family. Yes. What happens in this family stays in this family.
Exactly.
We need to get out of that frame of thinking as well, because you're not doing those girls any good, and you're not doing the family any good.
You just said some real shit.
Like, seriously, you have to let that go and stop saying, I'm protecting my family legacy, or I'm protecting my family members. No. When this type of stuff happens to a girl in the family, all bets have to be off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whoever needs to be exposed needs to be exposed.
Like, period. There should be no alternative. Like, there should be no if, ands, or buts.
Right.
Shed the light. Shit.
Yes. Speaking of butts, no, I'm just kidding. But Sparkle, childhood, I guess singer and friend to R. Kelly. She is the one that introduced her 14-year-old niece, Rashonda Landfair. In case y'all didn't know what her name was, in case
I didn't know what her name was,
because I was watching that whole documentary and I was literally Googling, like, Sparkle's niece, Sparkle, like, what's her name? And it was, like, so hard to find. I literally found her name on a comment under a YouTube video.
What?
Like, that's how I stumbled upon her name.
Shout out to you for being a detective, because I definitely didn't know her name until today.
Like, real talk. So, she is the one that
That's what you call journalism.
Oh, my God. That's what you call that entertainment, like, gossip journalism. Like, I must find out these pieces of information.
We just need to know.
Right. We sometimes you just have to know.
Yeah, for real.
By any means necessary. So she's the one that got introduced to R. Kelly when she was only 14.
She was 12 when she first was introduced to him. She was 14 on the sex tape. 13 or 14 on the sex tape.
Yeah, she was 12 when she got introduced and 14 on the sex tape. And Lisa Van Allen recounted experiences where she was introduced to a girl that eventually she had threesomes with R. Kelly, and she was told that the girl was 16, when in reality she was actually 14.
14.
But
and
like,
I'm still trying to figure out how that makes a difference, but
right, like how 16 is like any better than
maybe like 16 is the age of consent in Chicago.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a little quick litigation research on that one to find. Maybe it is because.
Anyways, I digress.
Like, I don't know why they were trying to make it sound like that was so much better, but yeah, so episode 1 and 2 had plenty of individuals that spoke to the young R. Kelly or whatnot, and the horror just continues in episode 3 and 4. The sex tape scandal is alive and well, full effect. The tape gets sent to the Chicago Times. This is after Lisa Van Allen takes her one tape out of the bag. I wish she would have taken a few more. I wish she would have kept the copy for herself.
I wish she would have taken the whole goddamn bag.
I know, but obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, if she really had some balls to like really make copies of all the tapes and then return the tape bag back, that would have been some boss shit. For real. But, so the journalist then from the Chicago Sun-Times, shout out to Chicago Sun-Times, turned over the tape to the police, and that is basically when the investigation ensued. And, some interesting quotes that Sparkle said throughout the documentary that I just feel is questionable is that she said that she never thought that R. Kelly would do something like this to her family. The reason why that's problematic for me is emphasizing on her family. Like, okay, this might have been happening to hella other people, but my family?
Yeah.
What? My blood, my flesh and blood, my niece, my own niece? Oh, no. So it's a problem. That is a problem to me because it's like, it wasn't really a big deal when you knew. Because I feel like she knew. She knew what was going on, too. They all knew. And I heard they used to have a relationship, too. Sparkle and R. Kelly, like, briefly dated or something. I don't know.
From what she said in watching her recent Breakfast Club interview, she said that a lot of her stuff was cut out of the documentary. And one of the things that she spoke about that was important to her that was cut out of the documentary was the introduction with her niece to R. Kelly, and she wanted to emphasize that she didn't just pass her niece on to R. Kelly. Like, it was a formal introduction with the girl's parents and her and R. Kelly and so forth, like, so that R. Kelly can mentor the young girl to be a superstar. So I guess that's what she wanted to stress upon.
Okay.
Yeah, and what you're saying is interesting. It's just interesting to me because I know, like, a woman's intuition is unmatched. And, like, you're around this man.
Right, that's working on your debut album.
Frequently, and you don't suspect anything. Right. And it goes back to, like, people, like, I realize that people don't give a fuck unless it affects them or people that they care about. Right,
like people that they directly care about, like their own kids or, you know what I mean, like the immediate family. It's sad, and that her rhetoric basically proves that. Yeah. That's kind of like her mentality, you know what I mean, that's the mentality basically that I'm getting at, is that none of us need to have as a community, as grown women, as, mothers, as parents, as a whole. We do not need to have that attitude that as long as it ain't my kid.
Exactly.
Like if you see something, say something.
Exactly.
Period.
Not only in this situation, I feel like in general, like it's okay to speak up about injustice and unfair treatment and just plain out wrong things. It's okay to speak up against wrongdoing, even if it doesn't necessarily directly affect you. Like, just because it doesn't necessarily affect you doesn't mean that you can't speak up against it. Right?
Exactly. You should be wanting to speak up against it because it is wrong.
Yes.
And it is harming someone, an innocent life, a life that is impressionable, a life that is not in full control. You know what I mean? Someone that doesn't have, power or whatnot over what they're doing, because they're still learning and growing, and they're basically being strongly mentally influenced by someone that has very deviant intentions.
Exactly.
So you have to be able to do the right thing. I feel like in those cases. So 2002 is when he got arrested. Finally, we started to see a turn, and maybe, justice was going to be served, and he's going to go to jail. All these years this has been going on. The sex tape was kind of like the pinnacle at this point of his career. And all his music is not going to resonate the same anymore. People are going to start to turn their back on him. He's going to lose money. He's going to lose support and credibility and all these things. And the exact opposite happened. He pled not guilty. He got to the courtroom, pled not guilty. He posted bail. I think it was about $700,000 bail or whatnot. And he just went back about his business.
Yeah. And a lot of artists work with him after that.
A lot.
Very high profile A-list artists.
Absolutely. The
after
Space Jam.
That,
I Believe I Can Fly. It was on the Space Jam soundtrack. That was what?
Can't even watch that.
I know. We can watch Space Jam the movie, right?
But fast forward through the.
Fast forward through the. Yeah, it's a damn shame what we have to do now.
Yeah, man, just fuck R. Kelly.
Just mute the TV. Yeah. Like when they started playing the scene where they're playing the R. Kelly, like how we're muting R. Kelly in everyday life. So mute the TV. You'll be all right. And just can't support this man at any cost. Andrea Kelly, R. Kelly's ex-wife. Let me just quickly say this. Drea, you look fraudulent. You look like you're on a come up. You look like you are trying to get child support payments in any shameless way you possibly can. And you don't seem to have your children's interests at heart, because you are doing things to publicly support R. Kelly, which your kids have already come out very fervently saying they hate their father, that he is a monster, that making songs and all this stuff about him.
And you're referring to that video that surfaced of her jamming out to his music and talking about how she supports his music and his music genius and all that, right?
Yes, but I was also referring to her own kids, like her oldest, who's a transgender. So the oldest daughter, Jaya, I think, who's now Jay, he has actually made a song like that he posted on his Instagram story or whatever, like basically calling out R. Kelly, saying some stuff. But yeah, she's in the car singing Happy People, and I don't care what y'all think. At the end of the day, he's a musical genius, and this, that, and the third. He's still my baby daddy. Still calling him your baby daddy. Come on, knock it off, because you look ridiculous. You're over here on this documentary crying and saying R. Kelly is the devil, that you hate him, that you hate what he has done to you, to your family, and this, that, and the third. But yet you're still supporting him. Exactly. I'm going to need you to pick a side, sis.
Last week, I told him to pick a side.
That never gets old.
I know, that's my favorite line.
That's a good line.
But you know what? And I do believe that she was mistreated, abused mentally, physically, in probably some of the worst ways that we will never know. And I do believe that she was manipulated immensely while she was with him. But she was with him for damn near 13 years. You didn't know what was going on for this whole damn near 13 years before you divorced him. Come on. This is why, I can't, believe, her story just don't add up. I get it. I'm not saying, I'm not like blaming her for anything whatsoever. All I'm saying is just like I would prefer to see, like, if she knew what was going on all along, I would prefer to be like, you know what? I knew what was going on. Like, I had an idea, but I was so mentally fucked up that I didn't think that I would matter. Like, I didn't think I could do anything that would change anything. I didn't want to leave him because I was scared that I have these 3 kids. I have no financial support. I have nothing for myself. Yeah. He may come after me. He's powerful. He has connections. Like, I was scared. Like, if she said that, so yeah, if she said that, I would like, it would be like more believable and more genuine. But like, she's just claiming to not know a damn thing, and it's just like, how, like, could you not know a damn thing?
And that is an insult on the public's intelligence.
Yes.
Because who do you think you're convincing when you tell these fabricated lies?
Exactly.
Like, these obvious lies that have so many holes in your story. There's so many holes that are poked in this story. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just no way that it's possible. You lived in that house with him. And there's even... K. Michelle did an interview with Hollywood Unlocked, mm-hmm. where that's a whole nother thing, child, because she... But anyway, I mean, she basically kind of still defends him, kind of. Well, not recently, but like in that interview she did, which I think was sometime last year or whatever. Uh-huh. But she said she was controlled by R. Kelly and she saw things.
K. Michelle?
Yeah, she was mentored by him.
What?
Like, you didn't know?
I didn't know.
Girl, she was. But anyway, the part I wanted to highlight in the interview that she talked about was that there was one time when, oh no, that was Sparkle. I'm sorry, I apologize. But yeah, K. Michelle, look that up, y'all. K. Michelle, you know, she still feels like he did so much for her career. He saved her life. That's basically how she puts it. So she can't ever see herself like causing him harm in his life or going against him. Even though she knows the things she's heard, it sounds so terrible, and she prays for the girls, blah, blah, blah.
So basically, because he saved her career and life, it's okay for him to be a pedophile and a predator.
Basically.
Got it.
Yeah. But Sparkle is the one that said one time early on, whatever, they were watching the Bulls game, and then she kept hearing this knock or whatever. Andrea, cut it out. That's all I'm telling you. We know what's up. Why are you knocking in timidly? Can I come downstairs to get something to eat? You're doing the same thing those victims do. You're doing the same thing his sex slaves do. Yeah. Why? Because you're part of you have to follow the same game plan too. If you didn't know what was going on, you would just walk around the house like, you know, like, what's going on? Who are you?
She did say that she was abused. So that may be part of it.
Okay, so she was abused and somehow didn't know that other chicks were being abused as well.
Yeah, so I think her story is that she was kept separate from everything else, which is why she had no idea about what was going on. But you telling me that all this shit going on
on this side of the house,
like, so you was in the bedroom the whole time?
Like, you didn't hear nothing, like, your intuition and kicking, you didn't, like, walk out in the hallway and see some, like, it's a lie. It's all a lie because...
You didn't watch TV, you didn't have no one, not goddamn one. There's always about one person.
Right.
Like, you didn't have at least one person? But now I feel like I'm victim blaming, and now that I feel kind of guilty. But it's just like, I don't feel like I don't feel like she was like, she had life good. I do think that based on what I've seen, I do feel like she was abused. But
absolutely,
I don't feel like she's being 100% honest in her quote unquote truth. Like, that's just my opinion based on what I've seen, and that's all that I'm talking about. My opinion based on what I've seen. At the end of the day, we don't know like how shit really played out from beginning to end, you know,
with their relationship.
Yeah. So Who knows?
Yeah, no, I absolutely believe like the cycle of abuse was a part of her life, and there's no doubt about that. I just, I just don't appreciate
the dishonesty.
the dishonesty right now.
And yeah.
And like how some things just seem very forced, very strategized, like you're just trying to get money in some certain ways, and you're doing anything, you're willing to do anything to get it, and it's just I don't know.
All the best.
Sis, I wish you all the best. I hear you trying to get a reality show or something. And, I mean,
power to you.
And she was on Hollywood Exes as well in the
really?
past. I think she did do Hollywood.
I mean, she got to get her money one way or another.
Yeah, since he doesn't pay child support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His broke ass.
Is he really broke though?
I hope he is.
I hope so.
And I hope he ends up with not even a penny in his name.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I hope the same thing. One thing that was very disturbing in this documentary, I just want to highlight this real quick. Bruce Kelly, who's R. Kelly's older brother, said he never understood why his younger brother, Kerry Kelly, turned down $100,000 and a one-song record deal from Robert. He said, to this day, and I quote, I will never understand
and to this
why
day,
he did that.
And to this day, we understand why he was doing this recording in a brown jumpsuit from jail. Because he don't know right from wrong.
Oh my gosh, that speaks volumes. Like, you literally did this interview from prison
also was like,
in a tan jumpsuit.
Yeah, and he also was like, oh, well, it's younger girls are just R. Kelly's preference. I like older women. He like younger. The older brother is saying, well, I like older women. He likes younger girls. What's the big deal?
I was like, what?
I was like, I hope this motherfucker spends the rest of his life in jail, because clearly he is not what? People go to jail to like reform, right?
Yeah.
And like rehabilitate themselves. Clearly he's not there yet. He needs
it's getting worse.
Yeah, he needs like another 20 years and maybe some therapy in there. like, I don't know what is going on.
Like, we need to just douse him in some holy water.
Yeah, I think he might need some damn...
His cell needs to be saged.
Yes.
It needs to be sprinkled with holy water. What do they call the people? The exorcists? Like the person that can get like
the pastors?
Spirits. Like, no, that they like pull spirits out of bad spirits out of people. I think so. It's like
normally those be pastors, no?
Oh, I guess they could be priests or like pastors that will like basically pray the
devil away.
Yeah, pray the devil out of him. He needs something. He needs some
prayers.
He does need prayers, because I don't know what he was talking about. But with the whole trial and everything starting off in 2002, it gets delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed until 2008.
He was at the motherfucking Olympics.
Ain't that some shit?
While this shit was going down.
Like, how ironic is that? Like, you are literally
representing
facing
America.
Right.
And it's like...
And that just goes to show the power that R. Kelly possessed, especially during that time. He reigned supreme. He controlled everything. He was the ruler of his kingdom.
Yeah, and he still couldn't read. I'd just be wondering this whole time, like, how he wrote all these songs when he can't read.
Damn, do you think he actually had like a personal writer, like somebody that he would be talking like, this is what I want to say, and he probably did have a transcriber. Oh, I hope she wasn't a female. She was probably another
She
woman.
probably was.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about what that may have looked like. Geronda Pace, when this trial was going on, she was one of the many super fans, one of the many supporters that was outside of the Chicago court.
Photographed with him in the front of the court steps.
In front of the courtroom. And somehow I think his bodyguard or something was the one that gave her his number or whatever. And she said before she even had a chance to use the number, she got a call, and it was from R. Kelly himself that said, oh, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for your support. I saw you there every day out there, and I just want to really thank you, blah, blah, blah. Of course, starting off nice and charming and sounding like a changed man, a man maybe that understands the gravity of the trial that he's been through and how grateful he is that, like, I did some wrong, but God has saved me. He's given me a second chance. Instead of him at that point to literally devote his life to healing, to getting better, to making a turnaround, he goes further.
Yeah. And that goes to show that it wasn't like a one-off situation. That goes to show that
it wasn't just the Aaliyah situation.
Yeah, like his issues are deep rooted. Like he is really ill, and I don't wish him the best. I don't wish him the best.
So you don't want him to get help?
What purpose is it going to serve at this point?
I mean, if he's not going to be in jail.
I just feel like he needs to take accountability. Like, I feel like everything needs to be ripped away from him that he cares about. And maybe if he wants to go and get some therapy, that's fine. But, like, I'm working on this, but I don't feel like there's, like, forgiveness. Like, forgiveness is not an option at this point, like, for him. Do you think that there's any coming back? Do you think that there's any coming back from
him? No, there shouldn't be any coming back if we're talking music and making a music comeback or anything. No, that's done. I mean, I'm done. He's forever canceled. This is written in pen, not in pencil. You can't erase ink, right?
This is written in blood.
Right. This shit is like for life.
For real.
Like for real. So I mean, but. Like, I would like, I guess, because I saw Iyanla go on Sway in the Morning. I really liked her interview because she didn't focus on, oh my God, R. Kelly is this and that. And he's, she really focused on the bigger picture as a community, what we need to do and what he needs to do and what this means.
He doesn't even know that he's doing anything wrong.
That's part of the problem. That's a big part of the problem. He is in total denial of everything.
I think, and it's hard to like really.
And it's crazy
because on one hand, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, do you think you cannot know that you're doing something wrong, but yet try to cover it up? Like, that's the part that I'm conflicted about. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around that concept because obviously he knew it was wrong because he acted one way in public. He had these non-disclosure agreements. He was making these payments to these girls for a reason. Like, he was doing this obviously because he was trying to hide something. But then, like, does he realize that? But then I'm, like, conflicted because then on another hand, it's like, does he know what he's doing is wrong? Like, with being with these young girls. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he knows. Like, but it's like one of those.
Does he know that it's legally wrong, or does he know that it's morally, like?
I think he knows that it's legally wrong now over the years with all the things that have happened, but morally, I don't think he really has a moral conscience. I think that was stripped away of him at a very young age.
Yeah.
I feel like all of those things with his sister molesting him and that other male figure in his life, I really feel like it just died. Like that part of him died, the part that tells you right from wrong.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And then once he found his musical ability and he saw how good he was at it, it really started to gas his head up. Like, I'm the shit. Like, I can go far with this. Like, nobody's touching me musically. Yeah. Like, I'm in my own lane. So it was
I'm
like,
doing the touching.
Right. Physically and metaphorically. Oh my gosh.
And that's like, it's like, do you remember the interview when the what's his name? Torre asked him, it was like, do you like younger girls? And he was like, well, do you like teenage girls?
He's like, when you say teenage, how young are we talking?
Like what?
Like
evidence?
Torre was even talking about how he's like, oh, that was just like the first question, just like to break the ice. They expect him to, of course, answer. No. It's an easy question, right? Yeah. Like, who's gonna mess that up? And he was like, what? Like, he was really struggling with the question when he's supposed to just be like, oh, absolutely not. I would never. I've never,
especially
and I would never.
Just gotten off.
Yeah, so, and then he was like, he said, oh my God, they really aired it. He was like, I thought they were definitely going to cut that out.
Mm-hmm. But then they only aired like four, something like that, and then took it off.
Oh, 4 minutes of it?
No, like four times on TV or something like that. Like a few times on TV, and then they took it off.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That's what Torre said in an interview I saw. He was on the Breakfast Club, actually. That's what he said. Wow. But it's just like, what, like, there's the proof, there's an overwhelming amount of proof. Like, I don't understand the people that still are conflicted.
Right. I'll tell you, it's like when people want to choose like the music, and in the documentary they talked about how R. Kelly has created so many musical masterpieces that literally tie to a positive memory in your life.
People are getting married to it.
Yeah, getting married,
graduating,
birthdays, obviously
first
sexual encounters, like positive sexual encounters, not the shit he be doing.
Yeah.
But, there's so many like marquee type of songs that he has that people literally, it's like almost like you're erasing a part of your childhood when you say, I'm not going to listen to these songs anymore. It's crazy. It's deep. Yeah. That's part of why people find it so hard to let go of the music and to let go of him as an artist.
I guess I haven't been in that situation where like someone I really looked up to. And one thing that I feel, just to kind of go off topic a little bit, one thing that I feel like we need to stop doing as a society, and I myself, I'm like trying to stop doing this, is putting celebrities, like making them inhumane and putting them on these pedestal as gods. Like, at the end of the day, celebrities are human beings just like everyone else. Their career allows them to do a lot of things that most people can't, and they're talented. But at the end of the day, they're a human being. They are bound to make mistakes. They're bound to mess up. And I feel like that's also their downfall as well. Like, painting this perfect persona for the public. That's why when they mess up, like human beings do, it's such a big deal. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's such a big deal when they mess up because they paint this this perfect picture. But at the end of the day, they're human beings. Like, nobody is perfect.
Right.
And that was just my little extra rant.
No,
I wanted to say. Because
I appreciate
it's so true. Because, like, I was thinking about it. I was like, that's why, like, the Kevin Hart, like, when he was, like, the thing came out with him cheating on his wife, many men have cheated on their wives, right?
Right.
There's been a lot of men who have gotten babies from cheating on his wife. Granted, Kevin Hart was found in a very, like, not very compromised position. But I feel like what made it worse for him is the perfect public persona that he has painted. Even going as far as to say, well, I've never, like, my wife is my rib. Like, I would never cheat on her. Like, I feel like that's what made it worse in his situation.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think it was a few things. The fact that he cheated on his ex-wife.
Yeah.
With a Nico, so it was like history repeating itself.
Yeah.
And
that
was one part, and then the other is that he he didn't really seem remorseful throughout the whole thing. He didn't seem remorseful. He kind of was like, I've apologized or whatever, but it didn't seem like that, like remorseful, like that genuine to me. It was kind of like, I need to get back to business, like I need to get back to this money, or whatever. Like, and then of course, like really focusing on his ex-friend that was, trying to out him or whatever, which was messed up. Like that's why they prosecuted him or whatever, but basically trying to blackmail him and stuff. So that was the other part that I feel like Kevin Hart was highlighting, but he kind of like downplayed. And even in the Irresponsible tour, I go to see the Irresponsible tour live. Yeah, me and Yabi went. And he didn't really talk much at all about the cheating. Really? I thought that's what the whole
Irresponsible
tour was like. Literally, I can't even remember what he really said that was even like, this happened. And he probably also, there's a lot of legal shit that's going on behind scene. I think that he probably can't talk about, like with the girls extorting him and like charges against it. Like he probably legally can't talk about it. Maybe, but I feel like he could have talked about his part that he played in it. This is how I felt. I shouldn't have done it. I was what an idiot I am. I have such a good woman by my side. Like he could have incorporated that into his hour special, but it wasn't really there. It was kind of like just different stories, like about the family and his friends, But my so I was like, man, he don't give a damn. He don't.
I guess we'll never know. But my moral of, like, the point of me bringing up that story is because, to go back, like, for me itself, like, I feel like what made it worse is because of the perfect picture he tried to paint of himself. And like many other celebrities, like I feel like celebrities just need to start being real. Like these characters that they're portraying in the public is not real. That's that.
I can see that.
And what were we talking about before I got on this rant?
Well, I think we were talking about just wrapping up like the sex tape trial and like
R. Kelly's public persona and people finding it so hard to believe that he was like this nasty bastard.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
And also the difficulty they have letting go of him, letting go of his music because of the cultural ties and the historical ties that it has to individuals' like lives and their memories. So it's a very deep, like, psychological bond. It's not like, oh, this song is cool and I like him as an artist. It's deeper than that because he's so talented in how he writes his music and produces it and everything. And he has created anthems, you know, that is the story, like, what did they say? The soundtrack to people's lives.
Literally.
So that's a deep thing. And not all artists are able to do that on a... like consistently, like, so
it goes back to what I was saying. The devil was an angel of music back in the day.
The devil is very crafty, very creative, and if you're not careful, he can look like an angel. I mean, he's not an ugly, wretched, smelly looking thing. A lot of times he's very attractive. He dresses nice. He smells good. That's what the devil is.
The devil is a lie.
He's a damn lie. And so is R. Kelly. So I guess
that's that.
Yeah.
Fuck R. Kelly for life.
Mute R. Kelly.
Period.
So I mean, the last two things I want to say, about R. Kelly or whatnot, well, three things. I want to say that the part that really got to me in the documentary that drove me to tears was definitely Michelle Kramer and Dominique Gardner's story. This was the girl, Dominique, that has been with R. Kelly on and off for 8 years straight. Probably one of the longest relationships I've ever heard of out of many of the girls. And she is now home, you know, free. She's free of this man. She has decided mentally to walk away for good. And her mom was instrumental in making that happen. And I just want to say big shout out to Michelle Kramer. She did that. She you know, she is like
a strong woman,
amazing mother. I mean, a mom to be able to let her child go knowing that she can't force a grown woman to not date a man that she basically claimed she was in love with for so long, that she was infatuated with. You know, and she trusted God over there to say, I know one day she's going to understand. She's going to see that this is wrong, that she shouldn't be here, and she's going to come home. And, you know, this is a perfect example of allowing God to work in your life and trusting God to prevail. Even when the devil will try everything. And God still can prevail. And that's what happened in this case. That was powerful.
Yeah, she was. And I felt like, I felt her energy and her strength just from the way she spoke in that documentary. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
it wasn't like the other mothers.
She was strong. Like, she was, I felt her strength.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I felt that too. I definitely did. The other things I want to say is that, you know, people are like, oh, well, what does it matter? Like, whether I listen to his music or not, and this and that. And, you know, well, we should still be able to support him. People are lying on him. They just want his money and blah, blah, blah. He's not what you guys think he is, and this, not. Listen, he is what he is. He is a monster. He has done all these things. At the end of the day, we need to focus on taking money out of his pockets, because it will slowly but surely break him down to the point where he will not have so much power and control in keeping the woman that is in this sex cult close to him. It will become a step-by-step process where eventually he loses money, he loses esteem, he loses power, he loses control.
Exactly.
These girls can now start to think for themselves a little bit. They can start to make decisions that the money is dried up anyway. Why am I staying here?
And the people around him are not going to stay around him for no reason.
Exactly. So now we take away that umbrella, that cushion, that
cape.
Yeah, that cape. Or as John Gray likes to say, the covering. We take away the covering and he is now bare. He's naked. He's exposed. So when that team is no longer there, which is the same people that protects him for so many years, now these women can maybe have the courage to walk away because, you know, there's nothing that's
holding them back. There's nothing to make them want to stay there. And at the end of the day, it's the money, the power, the fame, and the success that's keeping them there. Without money, there's no fame, there's no success, and there's no power. So that's why it's so instrumental to mute him and not support him in any way whatsoever.
Exactly. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But he's been dropped from his record label. He's not getting booked for shows anymore. He's not touring. He's obviously not going to put out an album because he doesn't have a record deal. He's going to have to go independent, which means he is going to have to put out his own money. And we all know it's hard to be an independent artist. And when the money flow stops coming in, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to have money to do what he's doing, to silence women, to cut deals behind the scenes like he's done all these years. So that's why I think it's important that we mute him, don't stream his music, don't buy old albums or new albums. Just no, like, don't do none of that. Like, just cancel him all the way. Backspace, delete, and don't look back.
Alt delete.
Exactly. So
restart. That's fine. Like, yo, I saw this meme.
And the other thing I want to say for the women that are currently in hostage, like Joycelyn Savage, Azriel Cleary, Geronda, yes, you are in bondage. I pray, you know, for all of these families and for the women themselves that one day soon, by the grace of God and with the help of this Me Too movement, this documentary, and with everything that's been going on, all the exposure and coverage, news coverage, I pray that they will
heal,
escape, they will leave, and the healing can begin, because that's basically a next step is healing, which will take a lot of time.
And stop victim blaming, people. Stop blaming the victims. Oh my gosh. Oh my,
it's terrible.
Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop blaming them. Stop blaming their parents. Do not digress or try to deflect from the situation at hand, which I've said many times, and I'm going to say it one more time for the conclusion. R. Kelly is a predator. Let's not forget that.
Yes. Let's not forget.
Period.
Just mute R. Kelly.
Yes.
That's it. That's all I can say. Just continue to bring forth the stories, the truth.
And if you want to still listen to his music, that's fine. Do not make a bullshit excuse as to why you're listening to his music. Be real with yourself and be real with others that you don't give a fuck, that he's a predator.
And you support it.
Exactly.
You're condoning and supporting it. So as long as you're cool with that, go ahead, girl. Listen to.
Do your thing.
You know what I mean? Step in the name of love, happy people. All
Go to his hotel.
Exactly.
He's going to give you his room keys.
And stick something in the ignition. If that's what floats your boat, hey. But be real with yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I support pedophiles. I support, sick, twisted acts.
Yeah.
And continue to live your life. So that's pretty much.
And hope that karma don't come back to you, because karma is real.
It is real. And it is always running with a vengeance. Nobody is safe from it. That pretty much, wraps up this very special Listen Up podcast. Bibi, I definitely want to say thank you for coming on here and just speaking to the truth. You know what I mean? Highlighting so many things with this R. Kelly situation that we need to keep talking about it.
Exactly.
We need to keep bringing awareness, and you have definitely done that tonight. So for that, I say thank you.
And thank you
so much.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for having me. And I just want to give you a shout out again, that I am so proud of you for being consistent and doing your damn thing. You know what you want, which is this media. You want to be in the business of media, and you do not stop. You keep going, whether it's doing your podcast, which you've been very consistent with doing, whether it's going and interviewing different artists or people or doing different events. You are doing it, girl. And guess what?
Oh, wow.
The way to success is by being consistent and working hard.
True.
And you are definitely doing that. So guess what? There's no other option but for you to succeed as long as you continue doing it.
Amen. Amen. Yes. I received that. I received that.
I mean that. I really, really mean that.
These words that you're giving me, these words of inspiration and just, encouragement, it really means everything to me. So
no problem. I really mean that.
I definitely look forward to having you back.
I will, girl. We gotta get into some more things in the future. We got lots to talk about.
I want to commend you for being brave and coming on here. This is your first time ever doing anything like this. She was so nervous, and I just honestly want to tell you really killed it. Seriously.
Thanks, boo.
You really are a natural at this. You were very well spoken. Your ideas just flow.
Yes.
Very concisely, very clearly and eloquently, and you have some talent in this too.
You make it comfortable. You make it comfortable for me to do. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I would just be talking my shit to my husband and pissing him off.
The only difference is we just like pin the little mic on you. That's it.
Yes,
You still the same shit. Just with a little technology in the background.
A little recording. Hopefully you recorded this time.
Oh my gosh. I swear this thing better act right. I'm not playing with you, recorder. I'm not playing with you. But let the people know where they can find you on social media. Oh my god.
So the only social media I have really that I use is Instagram.
All right. Shout out to the gram.
My username is Beebs, so it's BEEBZZ_.
Okay.
When I signed up, my name wasn't really available, so I just had to add a little extra in there, you know.
Add a little extra flair.
A little extra Z and
a little extra drip. I love it. It's so cute though when you see it like visually. It is like a cute you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Make sure to follow Bibi at BEEBZZ_.
And my shit private, so don't think you're gonna go on there and snoop. You gotta get accepted before you could see this.
That's right. You gotta follow and hope that you get accepted.
Yes.
That's how this works.
That's how this works.
You ain't getting no content for free.
Nope. And you better subscribe to this goddamn podcast too. Lady Sola, listen up.
Yes, please. Let these people know. You getting these people together today. You was getting these people all the way together. Like, I don't even have to say nothing. Like,
you better subscribe to YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple, and everything else.
Yes, Spotify.
Yes.
Listen up with Lady Sola. Just type that in. It's on iTunes, Apple Music. It's on Spotify, like she said. It's on SoundCloud as well.
Everywhere.
Exactly. For sure. I have it on a few other platforms as well that is I cannot think of at the moment, but definitely wherever you listen to podcasts.
And you will find.
Exactly. Seek and you shall find. Well, that is it for this episode. This is episode 14 once again. So thank you so much for tuning in. And we just going to pray for the victims. We're going to pray for the survivors. We're going to pray for everybody that healing takes place.
Yes. And open your ears and listen up. Deuces.
Yes.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Listen Up podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. If you're really rocking with it, leave a rating or review on the Apple Podcast app. The support is always appreciated.